Hello, we are live for today's episodic of the Rednecks Baby Show, which is in English is the Xander Gibb Show. And we are just in pre-production mode. I see we are live on uh, YouTube, and we are live on Facebook, and we are just sharing the show to various places, and we will be getting started very, very soon. Got a few technical hitches that we were going to get sorted out. There we go. Hi, chat. Welcome. Hope you're good. Hi to Janie. I see you lurking to make the screen smaller so that I can do what I need to do. Oh, yeah, I forget that you got to make it. You got to actually make it live. You got to actually press the play button so that you can turn the volume down so you can join in the chat without hearing yourself in the background too. Anybody else need a beer? If you're going to get a beer from the refrigerator, could you bring me back a couple too, and make sure they're Budweiser. So we're just gonna get the YouTube link from YouTube, funnily enough, because excuse me sniffing, this cocaine habit, have to knock it on the head. I'm joking. I am a comedian. Read the disclaimer, because you're not allowed to joke anymore. Did you know that? All jokes are off limits because we're too serious. Joking is racist, even if your joke isn't about anything to do with race. My internet is very slow tonight. Here we go. Let's get this link and get it shared. Madrigal Media is now live streaming in various places. Right, let's get that. Let's put that in there. Hope you're all doing well today. I hope you're all coping with this heat, because I'm not. I have two fans on in the studio, and I'm still sweating like a glass blower's ass. This page won't close. Have you ever heard that phrase before? Maybe it's a very British phrase. I'm sweating like a glass blower's ass. Cold? Who's cold? Surely you can't be cold, Janie. It's like a gazillion degrees out there. I'm certainly not going to sleep tonight. I tried to take a nap and what does that say? Bubba Wallace is claiming that the FBI is lying about the garage door pull not being a noose. I know who I believe. And it's certainly not Bubba Gump. Oh no! It's making me do it one by one again, and I hate it. But we will get there. So just talk to yourselves, talk amongst yourselves while we just share to about 50 million pages so people know that we are out there. Hello, Mike Gina. Welcome to the show. Click that share button, Mike Gina, and make me love you more. If you are in the live feed, please press the share button so that other people can know that you are. Oh, and Lemonhead gets exposed. Yeah, I saw his interview with Don Lemon, and I saw some CNN contributors commenting on it. But then when they realized that it wasn't true, no apologies. They were calling all of those who'd commented on everything from a pig to a dog And when they realized that it wasn't the case, they didn't apologize. So I know that's very typical of CNN, but please, get a freaking grip. Sharing it's okay to be white at my peril. It has been a roller coaster ride today because you see, here's the thing. Surely, if you say a hate crime has occurred when it hasn't, surely you've actually committed a crime by saying, "Oh, it's a hate crime," But nothing seems to get done about that, And Jussie Smollett is still, maintaining not only his innocence, but he's saying that it's racist that's what's being done to him. But you faked a race attack. Who's being too nice? Surely not me, Janie. I'm never nice. I'm always nice. Who am I kidding? Where did we get to? Together United for Trump. See, I'm giving all these groups a bit of a mention as we share to them. Gays for Trump. You never hear about gays for Biden, do you? I think that would be quite funny. I wonder if there's a group. I saw Don Jr. today, kind of all but calling Joe Biden a pedophile, which I thought was apt and interesting. But there's not going to be is there going to be a group, pedophiles for Joe Biden? I wonder. I really do. Someone called you a cracker yesterday. Yeah, that is a hate crime. That's discrimination. It really is. But apparently white people can't be discriminated against in a race way. But I've never got that. Black people can't be racist. This is no disrespect to decent, honest folk, because I don't care what. If you're a decent, honest person, I really don't care what the color of your skin is. But if you're an asshole, then to me, you're an asshole, and there's no two ways about it. It doesn't make you like a black asshole or a white asshole. You're just an asshole. And unfortunately, there's not this kind of no two ways about it. I hope you called the cops, Janie, because I would have done. Hey, someone just called me a cracker. Let me send a social worker right over, ma'am. Because that's what it's going to be now. For certain crimes, they're actually going to send a social worker, which I'm a trained social worker. I'm a qualified social worker, but I wouldn't want to be sent into a domestic violence situation. Oh, no, siree. Because it's just, I think it takes a cop to do that, really. And when they're sending in, kind of, because I don't care who you are as a social worker, you're not really trained for that kind of situation, or are you? I know I wasn't. I wasn't trained in hostage negotiation, but we were given some training in kind of talking people down from a tree. Hi, Martha. Hi, Maria. Hi, Clara. Hope you are all good. Welcome to the live feed. We are just sharing to various pages. Please click your share button now and tell people that you are about to watch the fabulous Xander Gibb show. And that will help to boost the numbers somewhat. We are nearly there with the sharing. I know it's tedious, but imagine how tedious it is for me too, having to share to all of these pages. I just want a beer. I want to lie down and watch a movie, but I have to make sure that I give my best for this next 6 months to ensure that Donald Trump gets reelected. Because I tell you, there are people out there that are working against this, folks. There are people out there that don't want him to get reelected. They're lying about him. They're smearing his name. They're attacking his kids. They're attacking his, young son. who's a teenager. You know, they're attacking him all the time. And I don't know. I just think that if we don't do our bit to ensure he gets reelected, then what's the point? Hi to Dave. Hello to CV. You know, don't come running to me if Donald Trump doesn't get reelected, because the first thing I'm going to say is, what did you actually do to help Donald Trump get reelected? Because, you know, when people say to me, Xander, what are you doing? I'll come to that in a second, Martha. What are you doing to get Donald Trump reelected? Well, I'm staying up till 3 a.m. in the UK, sharing my views and doing my best to ensure that Donald Trump gets reelected. That's what I'm doing. Martha says she never leaves home without her firearm. CV says it's Zan o'clock. Well, we can't have firearms in the UK, unfortunately. But if I was able to, I definitely would. I would want several. I would have an arsenal, which is a soccer team here too. I would have an arsenal of guns, a selection of ammo, set up a perimeter fence, you name it, I would do it. I think we're nearly there. I think one more share and we will be able to get started. So click that share button, guys, if you haven't already done so. You're not going to catch COVID-19. Oh, you can. I think you can have mace. I know people that have got like stun guns and things like that, but that's about it. There is a limit. There we are. That's it with the shares. There is a limit to what you're allowed to have to protect yourself, because it's this kind of like for like, but definitely no guns. CV said his son just bought a shotgun. We will talk more on the other side, but I am going to click the opening titles in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It has been good to me this time around. Things were they were bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact, and I can find no ribs. This is love, yeah, love. Never known true love before. Seen so many counterfeits that left me on the floor. This is love, yeah, love. All will come to those who wait. Time it cannot know the bounds, and eras don't dictate. Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Xander Gibb Show, the talk show that really does get you talking on the Xandermonium Network, live from an undisclosed location. The talk show that really does get you talking, bringing you the best in Patriot broadcasting 5 nights a week. I'm Xander Gibb, because who else would I be? And on tonight's edition, I get on my soapbox later on and give you the chance to get on yours too. In our phone-in, breaking down some of today's hottest topics. And Julio Rivera from Reactionary Times joins us. You can have your say in the feed below, and as usual, I'll be sharing your comments as we go along. You can call us in the phone-in, which is later on in the show today, and you can follow me on social media and check me out at xandergibb.com. Oh yes, sirree. So I'm going to come back now to the live feed and see who's there and see what people are saying. And maybe share a few comments, maybe share a few beers. When I left, they were talking about guns and ammo and all of this stuff. Right, let's go backwards a bit. Welcome to everybody in the live feed. Anybody I haven't said hello to? Hi to Chet, hi to CV, hi to Janie, hi to Martha, hi to Dave. Hello, Martha says she sings this all the time. Our guest who's joining us, our guest tonight, Julio Rivera, always sings it to me, but sings it wrong. He says the song actually says love it has been good to me this time around, and he always sings London has been good to me this time around. But either is acceptable. It's flattering that people are singing my song. No, Dave, I haven't opened a Parler account yet. I am thinking of doing it because I think Twitter is crap, basically. Twitter is, it has become so ridiculous that, they even said yesterday that President Trump saying that he was going to make sure the law was observed, that they said he was being threatening. So it's actually got so ridiculous now. London, but it actually says love. So let me tell you the difference. The one bit says, it actually says, love it has been good to me this time around. But not CV, my brain is dead now. Julio thinks it says, London has been good to me this time around. But either is acceptable. CV says hello to all the dudes who aren't here, whatever that means. Thank you very much, Chet. I like it. Dave says he doesn't have any Glocks. That's a shame. I don't have any Glocks too. I have locks, but no locks. What else did I want to tell you? My brain has suddenly just died. And so has the live feed. It just had the number. But I have a theory that people are getting kicked out, and sometimes they go, right, well, I'm not going back. But don't worry, Facebook. We will win. And it's not like I've had to pay for a mail order bride, Mark Zuckerberg. Love it has been good to me this time around. Chat says the law should be observed. Trump is the law enforcing president. Yeah, absolutely, law and order. And it makes me laugh that all of these Democrats are saying, yeah, special victims, law and order, special victims. Well, you know what? You're just dumb. Because, the thing is that when President Trump does get really tough with you a-holes that are breaking the law, you will really know what's hit you. You did. Yes, you did sing it as London. CV. The other thing that's on my mind is Roger Stone. Guys, keep him in your prayers. I really think, yes, Dave, goats' lives really do matter. And I've got a couple of kids, baby goats, not children. We need to keep Roger Stone in our prayers because if we don't kind of keep an eye on this, he's going to end up in jail. Now, they've kicked out all of those COVID people. Hi, Kate. Welcome to the show. They've kicked out all of those COVID people, but it seems as though our Roger Stone is not going to get his pardon. I don't know what you guys think. So we are doing things a little differently tonight. We are going to have a guest on before we do the phone in. And my first guest on the show tonight is Julio Rivera, editor-in-chief of reactionarytimes.com. And yes, you've guessed it, I caught up with him earlier today, and we had a little chat. So please join me in welcoming back to the show, Julio Rivera, editor-in-chief from Reactionary Times. How is the world with you, and how hot is it where you are?
The world isn't too bad. I just had a nice little Father's Day and enjoyed myself. And I'm getting ready to travel back to the United States, so I'm excited about that. In terms of the heat here, it's a little bit milder, I think, here than it is over there. But, when you don't have air conditioning like it is in the UK, it's a lot tougher.
No air conditioning at all. And when you mention it, they're like, what's air conditioning? Is it that stuff they have in Spain? They have that kind of Neanderthal reaction with regards to AC. So how are you going to fare? I'm guessing it's like 8 or 9 hours to New York from where you are. How are you going to fare with a mask on for 8 hours? Fear passing out, or are you just not going to use one?
Yeah, I don't have a choice. I mean, to be honest with you, there's that part of it, and then I'm going all the way to Puerto Rico first, and I'm going to spend a couple of weeks with my mom, who's older. She's 79 years old, so I have to take every single possible precaution to make sure I don't bring anything back. So it's not going to be the most comfortable, 24 hours almost with layovers and everything that I've had in my life. But, I mean, it is what it is, and I'm just going to have to deal with it.
Yeah.
That's the new normal right now. It's coronavirus travel 2020.
Yeah. Plandemic plane rides. That's what we call it on this show. But I'm not going anywhere that requires a plane ride for some time. So I want to jump right in. I want to talk about something that you've written about and talked about extensively recently, and that's DACA. And since its launch in 2012, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program has brought together immigration policy and education and career training in a so-called unprecedented matter. Now, applicants for DACA must meet their program's educational requirements in order to qualify for relief from deportation and work authorization, relying on schools to furnish transcripts as evidence, etc. Now, this went through SCOTUS recently, and the left are actually seeing the outcome of the court action as beneficial to them. But the president is saying that is not the end of it. Now, I'm a little torn on the issue, but as I defer to you, tell us a little bit more about it and tell us about your perspective on it, because I think a lot of people are confused as to what it means and what it's for.
Well, listen, it really is a confusing thing right now. If you're watching the media and you're listening to what the left has to say about it, and you're listening to what some people on the right have to say about it. But the facts are clear. Back in January of 2018, prior to the expiration of DACA, President Trump had offered in a comprehensive immigration package a citizen pass to up to 1.8 million illegal residents in the United States.
Right.
I mean, they could have fixed this problem back in 2018. Basically, what Trump was looking for, and right now there's about 600 to 800,000 Dreamers. So he was willing to give, a pass to citizenship to the entirety of the Dreamers, plus 1 million or a little bit over 1 million more people.
Right.
Basically, what he was looking for was restrictions on legal immigration, basically to take away the anchor babies and all the other, the blood relatives coming over.
Right.
They don't really offer anything to America, making it a merit-based system. And he wanted $25 billion in border security. And 25 is funny now. Let's think about this now. We're spending, and we're probably going to wind up spending upwards of about $6 trillion in all these coronavirus stimuluses, which we're not really going to get anything out of other than the fact that it's going to help some people kind of, get through this tough period as the economy is getting rebuilt. But really, in practical application, Americans only really so far have gotten, $1,200, maybe $1,700 out of all this.
Yeah.
That $25 billion could have created jobs for people to build, the mega wall that the president really wanted. It would have shored up, ICE and border security. It would have created those kinds of jobs. And it would have permanently solved an issue which cost the American taxpayers billions of dollars every year, the scours of illegal immigration.
Exactly.
It's shameful, quite frankly, to me, that the Democrats, they claim to be for brown people, claim to be for people of color, had the opportunity to get 1.8 million illegal residents into a legal status, and they didn't take it when they had it.
Because it wasn't in their it wasn't the way they wanted it. You know, as far as I'm concerned, it's the same with all kind of with groups like this where they want it their way or not at all. But if you're getting what you want, does it matter how you get it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, certainly. But I think that the issue is, I think that that's a little bit what you're saying, a little bit of a misnomer.
Yeah.
I really don't believe that they want this legalization.
No, because they're going to pay taxes.
And I don't believe that they really truly care about them. They just
No.
want it as a campaign talking point every 2 years.
Absolutely.
As long as they keep kicking the can down the road, they always have this to accuse Republicans of racism with.
Yeah, because it's the same. It's the same with the gays. You know, the left only wants the gays when it's voting time, because the rest of the time, you know, they can swing as far as they're concerned. Now, one of the big misconceptions about DACA is that because you know, if your parents bring you into the country illegally and you're raised here, or you're born here and your parents never register you, you do get to a point as an adult where you say, hey, I don't have a social security number, and hey, you know, I'm not totally legal. You know, surely for most people with at least half a brain cell, that's the point to say, hey, I need to get myself legalized. And most people in that situation would be given some kind of assistance, wouldn't they?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's certainly a lot of people that are in the country right now that are receiving social benefits, and I think that that's unfair to tax-paying American citizens who are really pretty much bankrolling that social safety net that we have in America. But this is my position specifically on the Dreamers, and it's a little bit more nuanced than on illegal immigration across the board. The Dreamers, we've already made the investment into the Dreamers to educate them. You know, they went through the public education system. For many of them, English is their first language.
Right.
You know, they don't necessarily identify with the culture of, you know, Mexico or whichever other South American or Central American country they may actually be from.
Right.
In a large way, these are really Americans. And some of them are, you know, gainfully employed and working, and some of them are even in the military.
Yeah,
serving in the
sure.
United States military, amazingly enough. So I think that this is a different group of people. I think the Trump original proposal, I think, was a little too generous. I don't necessarily like the idea of rewarding people who break the law.
No.
You know, so I don't think giving a legalization to an extra million people really does much, you know, for the American taxpayer, quite frankly. And I think it kind of is kind of going against what he was campaigning on. I mean, remember, a lot of the Trump bases, there are a lot of immigration hardliners and people that don't want to see people rewarded for breaking the law and getting American citizenship or a pathway to citizenship or eventually voting or collecting benefits they shouldn't be entitled to, or whatever the case may be. You know, this is a really a big issue with the Trump base, so he has to be careful how he approaches it. But certainly, if you want to cast blame in terms of what's going on in recent history to any side of the political aisle for the ongoing problem that still hasn't been solved of immigration reform, it's really definitely the Democrats' fault at this point.
Absolutely. Because there is this ideology, and I remember Obama talking about it, from the perspective of bringing people out of the shadows. You know, we do need to know who is here and who is kind of on our shores, because, you know, not all of them are friendly and not all of them are on our side. But like you say, should they be rewarded for their dishonesty? Because there are many who have waited in line patiently and you know, worked their due and got their stripes to become legal American citizens. So any kind of amnesty, you know, they've had 3 amnesties, I think, now in the UK, and each time they say, oh, well, you know, it's to find out who's here and bring people out of the shadows. And then they say anyone that comes in after this point will be prosecuted and sent out of the country, but that doesn't seem to happen. So even with amnesties, you know, they're never very final because they seem to kind of want to do more and more of them. But like you say, that doesn't benefit those who've paid taxes into the system and have waited their turn to actually become a legal citizen of the country that they're in.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem is we're going to continue, if we keep on, you know, kind of pussyfooting on this issue and we don't handle it definitively and swiftly with the type of, you know, urgency that we need to handle it with, The only thing that we're continually sending is a message to the rest of the world that America is open for illegal immigration.
Right.
You know, I mean, people are going to continually come here because they figure, okay, well, maybe I'll be part of the next amnesty, or maybe I'll be part of the next program that comes up to kind of, deal with people that fall into my group of, demographically or whatever.
Right.
And listen, this has to be solved with the border security, with the building of obsolete, the best possible obstruction that we can put up to keep people from physically coming in. Obviously, we also need more border agents. We need more ICE agents. We need people, and we need to be deporting people. Like, I don't understand. Back in the 1950s, Eisenhower had a program that only had, I believe they had something like 600 buses, 7 airplanes, and a couple of thousand cars or something. And what they did was they rounded up, they specifically targeted, the places that were kind of havens and provided refuge, or sanctuary in a sense for these illegal immigrants, people that were in, the farming, the agricultural industry. They went to farms, literally, and grabbed these people off the farms and took them from situations where they knew there were enclaves, where there were a lot of illegal immigrants. And they were able to get out in one calendar year over 1 million illegal immigrants. Now, this is in the 1950s.
Wow.
The numbers of illegal immigrants that we had back then were much smaller than what we have today. So that represented a very large percentage of the total illegal immigration population in America. But we've done it before. And we have even more resources today. The problem is we don't have the gumption, the actual BALLS's to go in there and do the job that needs to be done.
Right,
and I think that's the problem because of political correctness, because we've got these Democrats that want to seem like they're humanists and they're helping these people and they want to provide them sanctuary. Meanwhile, the citizens of the very, cities that they serve, their actual real constituents,
for sure,
pay taxes in this country, are constantly in danger. And listen, human trafficking was at an all-time high under Barack Obama. President Trump has been doing as much as he can by executive fiat to handle these issues related to illegal immigration. But at the end of the day, we're not going to get a permanent fix until the Democrats get on board.
No.
So they're going to have to say, okay, if we're going to give $300 million to the Kennedy Center, why can't we pay $2.4 billion difference in the spending bill at the end? Remember the end of 2018, 2019, we had a historically long government shutdown, over $2.4 billion in spending for wall funding.
Exactly.
That's ridiculous. When you consider we're spending like $6 trillion now, that's less than 0.1% of the federal budget for that year. And when you look at how much money that we're spending nowadays trying to get out of this coronavirus thing, that's a drop in the bucket. And it's a drop in the bucket that would actually stimulate the economy, create jobs, and provide a long-term solution to a problem that costs us, billions, hundreds of billions of dollars every year.
Exactly. And I think that some people are actually just afraid to take action. Now, I want to change direction now and talk about someone who is equally kind of on my crap list, if you like. And that is Shaun King. And over the past few weeks, with all of this Black Lives Matter BS, has kind of jumped on the bandwagon as a race baiter. One day he's blaming the Democrats, the next day he's blaming the Republicans, and now he's saying he wants all the statues of Jesus removed because they depict Jesus as white when clearly Jesus was Mediterranean. Duh. Now you shared something today, and you said, and I'm reading from your page. It says Shaun King is not black. He is a certifiably crazy sociopath. How dare these American communists? How dare these American communists attack churches? Boom. I agree with you 200%. Now, wouldn't you agree that this guy is a race-baiting protagonist who makes his money from being a race-baiting protagonist?
Of course, yeah. He's found that, he can be like a poor man's Al Sharpton. Actually, no, you know what he is? He's a white man's Al Sharpton.
Yeah, he's not even black, is he?
He's a race baiting, anti-white man. Like, this is crazy.
Right.
The level of like disconnection, the absence of logic to all of this. This is the thought leader. This is the main guy that's really the driving force behind this, thought leadership going in this direction. Is
Yeah.
the Sean King guy. He writes for the New York Daily News as a contributing columnist, and he pops up from time to time on television and radio, and he's a consistently strong force on Twitter within that movement. But it's just like, if I was black, I'd be insulted by that. Like, I'm blacker than he is.
Right.
My 23andMe shows that I'm a sizable percentage African, like about a quarter.
Right.
So, I'm blacker than this guy is. And
Yeah.
I'm not running around trying to be a race baiter or anything like that.
Yeah.
To me, this is the problem. The left is obsessed with race. They're obsessed with sex. They're obsessed with breaking people into all these little groups instead of saying, listen, let's come up with a solution that's best for everybody. That's what
Exactly.
the Bill of Rights was supposed to be.
It's all
That's what the
identity
Constitution
politics.
was supposed to be.
It's all identity politics with the left. But I have two questions for you, Julio. Are you black enough to vote for Joe Biden? And are you surprised at AOC, who I'm hoping lost today? I haven't seen the results yet. But are you surprised AOC is now referring to herself as black when she's Latino or Hispanic? Now, I never know how to label people from the Hispanic and Latino community because they're offended whatever I say. But is she black? And are you black enough to vote for Joe Biden?
Man, it's hard to say because, the Latino, the Puerto Ricans are a mix of African, Taino Indians, and European. Like, my mother's side is pure European. They came here during the Spanish-American War, and that's how they settled in Puerto Rico right around the turn of the 20th century. My dad's side, however, is a pish-poshery mix of Taino, African. I've got cousins that are black, literally black.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how my family makeup is. So I'm like, I've got a sizable percentage of everything. I'm some Taino, I'm some Puerto Rican, I have a lot of European blood. I'm just a mix. So it's like, I don't know what AOC's is. AOC might be, quarter to, close to half. I don't know how much African she has in her. So it's hard to tell. When I look at her features, and I hope this doesn't sound racist because it's just the freaking truth. She looks like she has about the kind of mix that I have.
Yeah.
But I don't consider myself anything. I just consider myself American.
Yeah, for sure.
Shouldn't that be with me?
Shouldn't that be the primary recognition, being American, and everything else after that is kind of just what it is? I would have said that she was 2/3 Alsatian, but I wouldn't go on record as saying that. But shouldn't that be the primary concern, that we're all Americans before anything else? And if we all actually looked at it from that perspective, color would actually fade into insignificance. Because I think the only people that actually make color an issue are racist. Because I don't say, oh yeah, that black guy or this white guy, or I just say Fred or Mary or Joe or whatever the person's name happens to be. Because I think it just seems to me it's the racists that have the issue with color.
Mm-hmm. It is, yeah. And ultimately, like, this whole thing with the ideology switch and all these misnomers, there's all these lies. The Democrats were filibustering the Civil Rights Act in 1964 for 57 days. How disgraceful is that? And then they figured, all right, let's go after they realized how powerful the black vote was. They decided to change their strategy, and you have LBJ going ahead and creating the Great Society, and that's when I think the politics of Democratic pandering towards the black community went into full swing.
Right.
$22 trillion later, in a sense, and this is kind of disgraceful to say, they've almost purchased a large percentage of the black vote through these tactics. And it has done nothing for the black community. What it's done is it's created a cycle of generational poverty.
But
because so many people have gotten settled into the fact that they're going to get their Section 8, they're going to get their welfare, they're going to get their food stamps, and it's completely destroyed the black family structure. Back in 1965, initially, the blacks, the two-family homes, or the two-parent homes in the black community, 74% of black children were being born into two-family homes. Now, it's only about 14%. That's ridiculous.
Right.
It's dropped by that much. And then on top of that, you compound the abortion numbers and the millions and millions and millions and millions of black lives that have been taken by abortion, by the scourge of abortion. And I mean, the Democrats have basically created a system that's destroyed, black American culture.
But did you not realize?
Turned it into a culture of single parent homes and generational poverty.
Right, but did you not realize Black lives matter don't matter if they're aborted, and Black lives don't matter if they're killed by other Black people. That doesn't fit their narrative, so they don't want it to be included. Clearly, but isn't it ironic that they call President Trump a racist, and his administration is responsible, and I love saying this, and I want to get it on a T-shirt, for the lowest Black unemployment ever. Not for 50 years, not for 100 years, but ever. So how racist does that really make him?
Exactly. It's one of those things. Between that, you look at the First Step Act, which undid the crime enforcement bill of Joe Biden, then Joe Biden's racist 1994 crime enforcement bill, which led to systematic arrests of Black and Hispanics in America. So he's undone that. He's created the Opportunity Zone legislation, which has provided better opportunities and lower taxes, and really a boost to entrepreneurship amongst people of color in the urban areas. We just go on down the line with all his accomplishments for not just for the Black community, for America as a whole.
Yes.
When he brought down taxes, he didn't bring down taxes just for white people.
For everybody.
The Tax Cut Jobs Act were for all Americans.
Yeah.
When he deregulates industries, deregulation of industries creates more job opportunities and more entrepreneurial opportunities, not for white people, not for Black people, but for everybody.
Absolutely.
This is the problem, the consistent problem we have. We don't get further because we're trying to do little things for little groups of people instead of just focusing on...
For all Americans. The thing you missed out about Joe Biden was that he actually referred to our Black brothers and sisters as Negroes. So that tells you where he's coming from. That was a euphemism for something else that he wanted to say that he knew he wasn't allowed to say. We are out of time, and as usual, I could speak to you forever. But tell people where they can find you, buddy, and where they can see your show, and when they can see your show, Reactionary Times TV.
Yes, you can see my show on Reactionary Times on YouTube. You can go to our website, reactionarytimes.com. Again, reactionarytimes.com. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us at Reactionary TMS on Twitter. And again, my name is Julio Rivera.
And he is the Conservarican, and proudly so.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Julio. I look forward to speaking to you again very soon. Xander, it's back to you in the studio. Thank you so much to my good friend Julio Rivera, who is editor-in-chief at Reactionary Times. You can check out Reactionary Times TV on Sundays on YouTube. Oh, yes, sirree. Looks like my feed died on YouTube, as in the one that I was watching. Thanks to everybody who is still in the live feed. Always a great job from Julio Rivera. Oh yes, sirree. It is time for your opportunity to get it off your chest in our phone-in. You can call us right now. The lines are open. 845-363-4747. That's 845-363-4747. If you are in the United States of America, but if you're in the UK, you can call us on 0208-3605. Sorry, 0208-133-5274. That's 0208-133-5274. If you are in the United Kingdom. Who missed the whole? You missed the whole show, Nick? Don't worry, you can watch it afterwards. Give us a call, 845-363-4747. That's if you're in the United States, and 0208 133-5274 if you are in the jolly old United Kingdom. We are taking your calls. The lines are open now. You can call us about absolutely anything that you want to discuss. We can talk Roger Stone. We can talk about the very depressing fact that one borough in New York was stupid enough to elect Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez again. Here we are, first caller of the day. Don't have to be psychic to know who it is. Here we go. You are live on the Xander Gibb Show. What's your name and where are you calling from, as if we did not know?
Well, Xander, I did, to be fair, I gave it some time before I called in. So, don't be mad.
I'm not mad. You are always welcome to call in the show. Before we jump in, I want to know what's pissed you off more. The fact that Roger Stone hasn't been pardoned yet, or the fact that some of our fellow New Yorkers are so stupid that they've reelected Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez?
That's a tough one. I mean, New York's a lost cause anyway, so
right.
I'm going to concentrate more on Roger Stone. I think from what I read, even if he doesn't get a pardon, there's a few things that Trump can do. So we're going to have to wait this out. I hope they take care of him at the very least. I mean, they kicked his door down at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
With more agents storming his house than they went in to get Osama bin Laden with.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I mean, no disrespect to Roger. I know Roger. He's an older guy. I mean, sharp as a tack, and has served his country for many, many years. And has been a good friend to President Trump, but I think I'm definitely not dissing President Trump. He's caught between a rock and a hard place. If he pardons him tomorrow, they'll say, "Oh, he's pandering to his friends," and if he doesn't pardon him, his own followers will say, "Why haven't you pardoned Roger Stone?" So he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. But I have a theory that he's waiting to be reelected, and then he's going to do all of the things that he needs to do, including a special prosecutor for him.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I think that could be that could carry some water. I didn't even think about that. But we're kind of just going to have to let Trump take the reins and trust him. That's the way I'm going forward to the 2020 election. I'm going to trust my president. I've never seen an economy thriving, Xander, like I did before these people, these ghouls, took it away from us. And by the way, I was thinking about this today. Isn't it ironic that the Democrats are the ones that took all these jobs now out of the minority community by pushing the Kung Flu?
Yeah, exactly. Even Ocasio-Cortez, that could have been, Amazon wanted to open up in her area, in the New York area, but she drove them away. I think this is a clear and apparent attempt, because they hate Americans. Let's just put it out there. There is no doubt about it. She's not doing anything. The Democrats are not doing anything for Americans, and she's not doing anything for her own constituents. But the scary thing is, it's not just that they're not doing anything for them. They're actually doing things that are of detriment to them.
Well, the Democrats have this all very well thought out. It's just like a lot of people ask how Omar got put into power.
Yeah.
Talking about Ilhan Omar, right? And the fact of the matter is Obama flooded them with Somalis in that community, and that's how she got elected.
Yeah.
And when you bring this up, when you tell a Democrat or you tell a liberal or you tell a leftist that this is what happened under that president, they call you a racist.
Right.
The old come back to the well and call us racists. because when they're losing an argument, that's what they do. But the fact of the matter is the Democrats had thought this out very well. And, you know, I can't stand liberals, but they have each other's backs.
They do.
Unlike us.
Isn't that interesting? You know, I've said that several times this week because it really pisses me off that people like you, CV and Brian and myself and you know, a few others, Andrea Kay, we're all slugging our guts out to try and make a difference. Where the hell is everybody else, Chad? You know, I don't expect much from people. You know, you don't even have to watch the show, but God, share the show. At least share the show. It costs you absolutely nothing. You're not going to get some deadly disease from sharing it. But we're gonna be struggling to win this election, and I'm sick of people saying, "Oh, it's going to be a landslide." You know, it's going to be a landslide. It's not going to be a landslide.
No. You know, Xander, I had that thought for a while too myself, and then I realized stop saying that because it's probably not the best idea.
Right.
But with everything that happened with the Kung Flu now, they are pushing so hard to get these mail-ins. And if they get these mail-ins, it will not be a slam dunk for President Trump. So we have to be vigilant.
We do.
And I thought it was interesting today when I was listening to Dr. Fauci, I believe from yesterday when he was testifying with some of the senators, Democrats, and of course it was via satellite because they weren't together. But he said, we think we're probably going to have a vaccine in December. So let me get this straight. We get the Kung Flu. Now they're talking about numbers are going up. All of a sudden, he starts talking about a vaccine coming out in December. It sounds to me like they probably already have the vaccine.
Oh, of course they do.
They're going to sit on it until President Trump is out of office according to their plan, and that's when they'll give out the vaccine. If President Trump gets reelected, they'll ratchet up this rhetoric even more.
Absolutely. And are you aware? I actually saw this. I actually saw this on Facebook. That the COVID app is already on your phone. If you have an iPhone, I don't know what kind of phone you have, but I have an iPhone, and I'm just looking.
I have an iPhone too.
So I just need to angle it a bit better.
Xander, they're watching us on everything, unfortunately.
I mean, it's not switched on, but how dare they put that onto my phone without my permission? You know, because the thing is, all it can actually serve as is to monitor us further. And I thought we were beyond that as human beings, because I think, and I'm not being a scaremonger here, but I think what they're actually looking to do is to get to a point where they're going to say it's mandatory vaccines for everybody. And I don't, you know, I've said before, I don't even have the flu vaccine. So there's no way in hell I'm having the coronavirus vaccine, you know?
No, I'm not doing that either. I mean, we've seen clearly that, some of their ideas for vaccines have backfired before anyway, besides the fact that it's probably could be used to monitor us. You know, a lot of the vaccines that they push, and you would know because of Dr. Becker, have rendered children with cancer and all sorts of these horrible things that have happened to people. And, Dr. Fauci is a complete scumbag. He sits on the board with Bill and Melinda Gates.
Yeah.
And what they do, if people want to really look into this, you can. What they do, the Gates Foundation in the third world countries, is they use them as petri dishes to give forced vaccinations to the local people, and many of them have died. That's disgusting.
They're disgusting pieces of shit, the pair of them. Shit is allowed on this show now. But
sure.
Can I just say this, and I'm not being mean saying this, but doesn't she look like a guy? I'm sorry, but,
Yes, she does. I'll give, yes. But Xander, the point is that the American people aren't going to put up with this. If they start trying to shove vaccines down our throats, it could get ugly.
Yeah, it
And
could.
I don't want to see it get ugly.
But
you know
how they're going to do it? They're going to say, well, you can't go to Trader Joe's unless you've had your vaccination. You can't go downtown unless you've had your vaccination. Well, screw it then. I'll stay in my house and I'll get my groceries delivered. Because they're not going to say you can't have your groceries delivered if you haven't had your vaccination.
Right.
But who knows? Who knows where this is going to go? And hi to Richard, who just joined us in the chat. I hope you're good. It is a scary ideology, and I asked Dr. Kendra Becker when she was on the show if she thought that this was a possibility, and her response was, theoretically no, but who knows with these idiots? Who knows?
Yeah, you don't know, and it frustrates me because of the way the left treats this. I listen to the morning show on 94.9. The guy's name is Lee Elsey. He always has this doctor on by the name of Anthony Alessi. Different last names, they sound similar. But what they were talking about was religious exemption, right? And is there reason for a pushback against religious exemption?
Yeah.
And this jerk, Anthony Alessi, said there's no such thing as religious exemption. Now, if that's not the most insane, just diabolical, dark commentary when it comes to vaccines, I don't know what is. First of all, with these vaccines, they use baby tissues of the fetuses in order to get some of these vaccines. Right then and there, that shows you that a Christian or a Jew would not want to use that vaccine.
No, definitely not.
He's saying it hasn't been pushed forward in the Senate, so it doesn't exist. That's kind of what I'm getting at here. It's all government, no Christianity, no Judeo-Christian values, and if they want to put, chips in our necks, they'll do it.
Well, they won't be doing it to me. I mean, some people already, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but kind of as things go on, with all the 5G stuff that's going on, et cetera, it really makes me wonder how many of these things that people have suggested are actually, real and not so much because who'd have thought that they would have had a man-made virus that wasn't as bad as the flu, and they would have crippled the world's economies over it, because that's exactly what they've done. I mean, it's like something out of a sci-fi movie. It's absolutely scary.
Because it's all they had, Xander.
Yeah.
It's all they had. They can't beat him on policy. They certainly can't beat him on the economy and jobs growth. They certainly don't beat him on the border. They can't beat him in his fight against ISIS and terrorists around the globe. He hasn't drug us into any unnecessary wars.
No.
Those things are all great, great things. And nobody on the left wants to ever give him any credit.
No.
You would think a good liberal would say, what, Donald Trump, maybe I don't like him, but you know what? He hasn't drug us into any war.
No.
Aren't they supposed to be for that?
Yeah. But wouldn't you think even the fact that they have more money in their pocket and before the pandemic that more people were in work, wouldn't you think that all of that? You see, because this is why this was just so controlled and pre-planned, because it was going in such a great direction and they wanted to rip it apart, because there are stupid people out there that are saying, 100 million people have died because of, Donald Trump's failures. It wasn't Donald Trump's failure at all. The World Health Organization lied to him. The CDC lied to him. Barack Obama left no stuff in the storage, the store for a pandemic. He's actually got Fauci, he's got a foot in too many camps as far as I'm concerned, deep state Fauci. And so it just seems that everybody wants this to fail for Donald Trump.
Yeah, the crazy thing is right now when people talk about the Kung Flu, COVID-19, and I'm going to keep saying Kung Flu because it's not racist, you idiot liberals.
You just want me to sing that again, don't you? That's what it is.
They won't even talk about China at all. Nothing. They say nothing about China.
No.
And then when you find out that there were a bunch of Chinese spies in our universities around the country, and you start to add these things up, and you start to say to yourself, maybe China and the Democrat Party got together on this whole thing.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me.
It would not surprise me one bit.
Because what's his name? Joe Biden is definitely in China's pocket. And all the money that he's made, I mean, he might have forgotten about it. But, he's made so much money from this situation. Hi, Mike. Welcome to the live feed. Joe Biden and his son, you see, and how can he even run for office? How come twice in a row we have criminal Democrats running for the highest office in the land? It's a worry to me. Where do we stand as a country where it shouldn't be enough just to be born in the United States of America to run for president? You should be above reproach. And none of these Democrats are above reproach. Not one of them.
No. And Joe Biden, the reason I think they love him so much as a candidate is because he's easily motivated by, pandering.
Yeah.
That's what it is with Joe Biden. And they'll also be pulling the puppet strings. It'll be Obama. It'll be Hillary. It'll be all the typical ghouls over there at the DNC.
Yeah.
And he's just, go along with it, Joe. I mean,
yeah, Joe's like, DNC? I thought I worked at the DMV.
Around him.
Yeah, exactly. Like Joe Biden's like, DNC? I thought I worked for the DMV.
Well, when's the last time Joe Biden drove around? He doesn't even come out of the basement.
No. Did you see?
It's so ridiculous that the left did the whole TikTok spiel and got 6,000 to stay home or whatever it was.
Oh.
And we're talking about a guy that can't pack a gymnasium
No.
at the local high school
No.
or the local Lions Club, and he's not coming out of the basement. So, and it's funny how the narrative changed to, oh, my God, Trump is going to have people there, and they're not going to have to wear masks, but they have to sign this paper. And when it was only half capacity, they're like, oh, look at all those.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just so bizarre the way that they behave. It's gotten increasingly dangerous.
Well, apparently it's following her around because everywhere he's booked in a rally, there's a spike in COVID cases, which I think is, how stupid did they think that we are? And then they talk about the second wave. The only second wave there's going to be is a Mexican wave. I mean, please get real. There wasn't even a first wave. Hi, Christy. Welcome to the live feed. There wasn't even a first wave with this. Because if you actually take away, some people have died from this, and I'm sorry, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to them or their families, but if you take away all of the people who were recorded as dying from COVID-19 but actually didn't, the numbers are actually far lower than they have publicized.
Well, talking about this COVID scare and, as you like to call it, the plandemic, I had mentioned something on our page, as a post I put out there, that somebody was commenting and basically saying that I didn't have a heart because I wasn't concerned about the people that were dying. And I said, no, that's not true. I didn't say that. What I had said is that the government and the deep state, which does exist, and it is inside the government, whether people want to admit it or not, are controlling the narrative. And I said, the people that are dying, because she had told me, her great aunt had died from this. Her great aunt was in her 80s. I said that, the people that are dying because of their conditional health at the moment when they get COVID-19. I said, and second of all, you should be upset at the people that are lying about this thing on TV and in Washington. And the fact of the matter is, they don't give a rat's rear end about your family.
No, they
don't. It would be done differently.
I follow a guy called Dr. Carol Sikora, and he's been pretty apt about all of this. And I wrote an article last month, I think it was, about the response to COVID-19, the faulty data response to COVID-19, and quoted him, and he said, the people that died of COVID-19 were probably going to die this year anyway, because their immunity and their health was so bad that
Right.
the slightest infection was going to kill them. Not that that makes their death any
No.
you know, but
And none of us have said that.
No.
Like, you know, I mean, I'm not like that. I don't want people to die because I hope that I'm right politically
Yeah, exactly.
on social media. I mean, that's absolutely insane. I would never do such a thing.
No.
But the point of all this is the people lying to you are the people that you trust.
Exactly.
And the people you're calling crazy
Exactly.
are the ones that are telling the truth. We're not saying it doesn't exist. What we're saying is it was brought in by China and probably the Democrats. It was used and weaponized to go against Trump's economy and the American people, and they lied about the numbers. Why are they giving all these numbers at these hospitals when they don't even test them? And they're like, say it was COVID, because the hospitals are making bank off of everybody that dies from COVID-19.
Yeah, so
and that's a fact. And the other sad part is, Xander, we have a governor in New York that doesn't give a crap about anyone. The other day, I think it was 2 days ago, he said it was the Fed that's responsible for all the nursing home deaths in New York, when that jerk knows that Donald Trump docked a floating hospital in Manhattan.
Wasn't even
one
used.
Person went in.
It cost thousands to do that, and not what it was never used. But you see, the thing is that
never used.
I hope that people like Fredo's big brother and the asshole that's in charge in NYC now, what's his name, Bill de Blasardio. I hope they both get what's coming to them, because what they've done to my city and my state is absolutely disgusting. And still they're getting away with this stuff. And to blame those nursing home deaths on anybody but Cuomo is folly. I'm totally disgusted in him, because this is not about politics. This is about lives, you know? And I think... I don't know. I just think it's absolutely disgusting. It really is.
It's funny because it's funny you said that, Xander, because 2 days ago when he made the statement that I just repeated to you, he said they're making it political. They are.
Wow. What, the dead people? You know, how dare they die because of his failure to administer the policies correctly. We got to leave it there, unfortunately. It's always the same. We could speak like all night, but tell people where they can find you, and I'm sure Chip will be back tomorrow, and he's on Friday night as a guest, but tell people where they can find your show.
And Xander will be with us this Sunday, and we got some great guests this Sunday. I'll tell you guys about it tomorrow. Go to freedomondeck.com, FM terrestrial show that you can listen to live right there. CV does a great job with the site, and there's a lot of stuff for you there to look at. You can get some laughs, you can get some chuckles, you can get your news and all that good stuff, and we hope to see everybody there. That's all I can tell you, Zan.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for calling in, Chet. We will speak to you very soon. Have a great night, and don't let AOC haunt your dreams.
Don't give me any nightmares, please.
Don't have nightmares. Thanks a lot, brother. Take care.
God bless.
Bye. You too. Thank you. That was Chip Martin from Freedom on Deck. Make sure you check him out on his show, Sundays 3 till 5, on News Now and Stimulating Talk. That was the Xander Gibb Show. Not had your fill of the Gibster. You can check me out 5 nights a week, 5 Pacific, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 1 o'clock in the UK, and 12 midday down there the next day in Australia. On Thursday's show, we have Mark Sutherland and CV Burton. Stay safe out there. Please click the share button. Thanks to everybody in the live feed. Thanks to Julio Rivera. Thanks to you. Click the share button before you go, and we will see you tomorrow. Oh, yes, sirree. Love, it has been good to me this time around. Love, it has been good to me this time around. Things were they were bound to change when it was found click the bell button and subscribe to keep up with the Xander Gibb Show.